Let's begin. So the main thing that we're learning today, right, is something that's a little bit more tricky. You will definitely be seeing it more in primary 5. Okay, so next year you're all going to primary 5, right? So it's inferential questions. Dum dum dum. Right, this will be turning up a lot in your comprehension open-ended. Right, so where can we find this? In our comprehension open-ended section of our paper 2. So let me just write it down to remind you. Okay, and this will actually turn up a lot in your primary 5 and 6 exam papers, yeah? Okay, and inferential, when you make an inference, right, it's basically making a good guess. All right, so that's what inferential means. The word inferential comes from the word inference. And an inference is basically a good guess. How do we know if a guess is good or bad? Well, if it's likely to happen in reality or it's likely to happen in that situation, then it's a good guess. If it's unlikely to happen, then it's a bad guess. So, for example, we have a situation, okay, let's say we have Zoe seated in front of a cake and there are candles on it, and then Zoe clasps her hands together and then, right, she makes a wish, okay? So that's the scenario. So a good guess would be, oh, Zoe is having her birthday today. She is making a wish in front of her birthday cake. All right, so it's probably her birthday today or her birthday is coming soon. So perhaps some people are celebrating, it for her. Maybe her family members, maybe her friends. We don't know. But a good guess is that it's probably Zoe's birthday. Now, a bad guess would be, oh, Zoe is praying because she's in church. And then, right, she's giving her cake to God. So that doesn't make sense, right? Because in that sense, okay, number one, the candles will not be on her cake. And number two, you don't bring cake to eat in church and then pray the cake to God. Yeah, so that's a bad guess. Okay, another bad guess would be, oh, Zoe is praying in front of her cake because, right, her parents force her to pray in front of the cake. She has to eat cake every day. That's a punishment for getting bad results. She has to eat cake, right? And then she has to put the candles on her cake, that kind of thing, which doesn't make sense as well. Okay, because in reality, we all know that that situation normally only happens on our birthdays or some very special occasion, perhaps wedding anniversary or something, like when your dad and mom first got married or something along those lines. Yeah, so those are good guesses, okay, versus bad guesses. If, for example, very good, Toby, very close to AL1. Just maybe like 2 more marks and then AL1 already, right? So close. So for your, 1 more mark. Okay. So just a little bit more and then you get your AL1. Excellent work, Toby. So let me give you another example, okay, of what a bad guess and a good guess is. Oh, by the way, welcome to the class, Siyu. Okay. Let's say one day, okay, we are at the shopping mall, okay, and then it's raining very heavily outside. And suddenly, Siyu walks in, and then, she is drenched from head to toe, right? Everything is wet. Her hair is wet, her clothes are wet, her bag is wet, her shoes are wet, everything is wet. Okay? So a good guess, okay, maybe Clarice looks at Siyu, right? And then Clarice will say, oh, Siyu probably got drenched by the rain because she forgot to take her umbrella out with her. All right. Or maybe Sanvi will say, oh, Siyu got drenched because she forgot to put on her raincoat, that kind of thing. That would make sense. That's a good guess. Okay, so Clarice and Sanvi have both made good guesses. But then Dodo Bird Dum Dum Mr. Joel, right? What would he say? Oh, Siyi, oh, Siyi is so wet because she was playing water guns with her friends outside. Where did the water gun come from? Number one, she's not holding any water guns. Number two, why would she be playing water guns on a rainy day? And number three, the shopping center is so cold. Does she want to fall ill when she comes in? Because she will freeze, right? Doesn't make sense. Or even worse, Mr. Joel might say, Sui was swimming in the pond outside the shopping center. She wanted to catch the goldfish. That is quite a dumb guess as well, right? That's a bad guess. Okay? Because unless Siyu was mentally unsound, like there's something wrong with her mind, right, or her brain, she wouldn't jump into the pond and try to catch a fish on a stormy day. Number one, it's going to make her more cold and more wet. And number two, what if she gets struck by lightning? Or what if she falls or something and then she hurts herself in the pond? Yeah? It's unlikely that that will happen. So that's a bad guess. All right? So that's what inference is all about. Making good guesses based on the story, what you know about the story. Okay? So doing your best to make good guesses from the information the author gave you about the story. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about today. All right, so inferential questions. But before we do that, let's cover some of the exercises that you've done so far. Okay, so look at this. Visual text, okay, first one. So they give you basically a poster, something like that. Okay, when you go to primary 5 next year, it's going to be a little bit more detailed. They're not going to give you one page anymore. They're going to give you 2 pages. All right, so that's more information for you to read through. But I always encourage my students, you know, when you're given this kind of exercise over here, you shouldn't read everything in detail, but what you should read is get to know which, like each of the little boxes here, right? What's the information contained in the different boxes and different sections. So you should roughly know what different types of information you can find. Maybe for one box, it tells you the venue and the time and the place and everything, right? Then another box tells you what events are happening. Then another box tells you what food you can buy there. Another box tells you what drinks you can buy there, maybe. Then another box tells you how to register for the event. Another box tells you what's the price for the event and stuff like that. So you just need to know generally, okay, what kind of information you can find in each box. You don't need to read it in a lot of detail, okay? You only need to read it in detail when you're dealing with the questions later. And the question is asking for a very specific detail, like a very tiny piece of information you need to find. But because you already know how the information is grouped in the different boxes, okay, or whatever it is, could be grouped in circles, grouped in triangles or whatever, okay, but since you already know how they group the information, you can kind of tell what the answer, where the answer can be found, and that helps you to speed up your answering, okay? So that's the general rule for these types of exercises. Now let's have a look. Okay, Children's Talent Show 2023 is organized by who? So all of you got this correct over here. The answer is definitely Bridgeway Community Center, because in the poster here, it says what? Very big over here, right? Organized. Organized by who? Bridgeway Community Center, obviously, is at the top right there, right? Bridgeway Community Center. So if you write anything else, you're obviously not looking at the poster carefully enough. Okay? So over here, answer is B. Question 1, B. All right. Next, question 2. The main purpose of the event is to allow children to do what? Okay, now for this question over here, when they ask you about main purpose, boys and girls, all right, you have to ask yourself, a very strong clue would be, what does most of the poster talk about? Or what does most of the poster want you to do? then you can find what the main purpose of the poster is. All right. Most of the information is talking about what. So in this case here, everyone got it right except for Zoe. Zoe might need to give me another answer. So the last time you answered this, Zoe, your answer was D. So that's wrong. All right. The main purpose is not to allow children to compete among themselves. Okay. Have a closer look at the poster over here. I'll show you the. Can you remember ABC, Zoe? What the answers are for ABC? You can remember, huh? Okay, I'll show you the poster. Then you tell me what the answer is. Okay. So the main purpose of the poster is to do what? What are they trying to promote? Very good. Zoe is correct. Okay, the main purpose is for children to display their talents. Okay, how do we know? Over here, they're asking you if you want to be a singer, whoops, a singer, a dancer, or an actor. Okay, and then they're asking you to come join the annual talent show, and it's for children between 6 and 12 years old. Okay, and it's for you to showcase your talent on stage. And then you have some attractive cash prizes here, so on and so forth. But the main purpose of this event is for children to showcase their talents. So showcase and display are actually the same meaning. To showcase something is to display something. Okay, so question 2, the answer is A. Right, so far, question 1 and 2, everyone got it right. Let's add the points. Okay, 2 points to everyone. And I'm not sure if Nicole's coming. I better put her as absent first because she's not here yet. All right, next up. Question 3. Okay, here we have the poster once again. And question 3, if Jack is interested to sign up for Children's Talent Show 2023, he should do what? All of you got this correct. You said he should email Paolo Ng. Okay, where can we find this information about Paolo Ng? If he wants to sign up, what should he do? So at the bottom here, we have some information about signing up. It says, to sign up for this event, email Paolo Ng at paolo@bridgewaycc.sg before 4th November 2023. So this is the answer right here, right? He has to email Paolo Ng. So all of you got this correct. Very good. That's question 3. Next. Okay, if you're not sure about your answer, boys and girls, for this section especially, right, it's especially important to test out all the answers and see whether you can find the answer or not if you're unsure about it. So you test A, B, C, D, right? Make sure you find the information for all 4, A, B, C, and D. Then you can definitely be sure, right, that you're getting something right or wrong. Okay, for this section, super important. Now, question 4. This one, it says, according to the poster, which one of the following statements is true about Children's Talent Show 2023? So for this one, right, it's very important to test all of them. Which one is true, which one is false? And you must find out why is it true, why is it false? Okay, so for this one, Toby, you got it wrong. You need to give me the answer for this one again. The rest of you got it right. So Toby, you want to take a picture of the options here? Then I show you the poster. Yes. Okay, so Toby is correct now. The answer is D. All right, the answer is D. So why is D true? Let's have a look. All right. The performances must be less than 5 minutes long. Where do we find that this is true? Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, look at this information here. Performances must not be more than 5 minutes. So the answer for D here is true. Okay, but just to be safe, for true false questions, we test out the rest as well. So let's have a look at A. I'm going to use a different color for A so you can see where I'm looking for it. Okay, so A, participants must perform, oh hold on, just now we know that this one